Pep Guardiola had to pull off something special if he wanted to get all 3 points against his kryptonite, as Klopp is the manager with most wins against Pep Guardiola. Not just that, but Liverpool have been on top of their game this season and were on a 20 games unbeaten run before this match. As a result, Liverpool find themselves sitting at the top of the table. Therefore, it was imperative for Pep to get the upper hand in this match, so they could have a chance to reduce the gap to just 4 points with plenty of time remaining in this season. And as you will find out, Pep was able to do just that thanks to his tactics. However, Klopp's second half tactical changes shifted the balance into Liverpool's favor, and they very well could have come out on top or at least drawn this match. And before we get into the video, I'd like to thank Squarespace for supporting this channel. I'm actually working on creating my own website through Squarespace, since it makes it very easy to do whatever you want while being less time consuming than other alternatives. I'll showcase my finished website in my next video. So whether you need a domain, website or online store, make it with Squarespace. De Bruyne wasn't fit enough in time to make it into the starting 11. Meanwhile, Delph was suspended for this match, so Pep decided to go with Laporte as a left back. Apart from that, everything looked similar to City's usual lineup. Klopp, on the other hand, decided to go with a more defensive lineup than usual. He's been favoring 4-2-3-1 recently, which has brought Liverpool great success. But in this match, he decided to go with 4-3-3 as he brought in Henderson and Milner to play alongside Wijnaldum in the midfield. The goal was to effectively defend against City's possessional play and then hurt them on counterattacks, as that's when they're most vulnerable. Let's do a quick overview of what Klopp had in mind so we can better understand what Pep did to outplay Liverpool in the first half. Since Pep loves to build up from the back, Klopp wanted his team to press high and disrupt the build-up play to try and force some mistakes. And when City were able to get out of their defensive third, Firmino stayed by Fernandinho, while both wingers stayed narrow in their half spaces. This was done to discourage City from finding the midfielders who drop deep quite regularly. When staying in the half space, the ball near winger was always ready to press the nearby fullback as soon as a pass was made to him, while the ball far winger came inside, cutting the passing lane to the fullback behind him in process, and was ready to cut out the option for City to switch if they went wide, which would force City to stay on one side. And when City didn't go wide but attempted to switch to the other side, the ball far winger continued to have the fullback in mind as he pressed the centre back from an angle as soon as the pass was made. In order to take care of Agüero's false 9 role, when there were no midfielders nearby to help, a centre back was tasked to stick with the forward whenever he dropped deep into space. When City were able to get near the final third, Mane and Firmino would come back to help while Salah stayed up. Not only did Mane help Robertson double-team Sterling, but he also took care of the passing lane to Bernardo Silva, who was making a run into the space, allowing Milner to exclusively focus on the run behind the defense in case Sterling attempted to pass it. That's how Liverpool were without the ball, and as soon as they won the ball back, they tried to counterattack quickly to exploit City not being in shape. Klopp has managed to outplay Pep on many occasions using a similar style of play, so Pep was quite aware of how Liverpool would be playing in this match. And so, when playing from the back, Pep tasked both Bernardo Silva and David Silva to drop deep in case City were struggling to play through Liverpool's pressure. The reason why Pep did this was because when Firmino was occupied with Fernandinho, while the ball near winger was busy pressing the nearby centre back, Milner or Wijnaldum, depending on which side the ball was on, was responsible for cutting out the passing lane to the fullback. This allowed a City midfielder to drop deep without any pressure and play through Liverpool's shape. After City got away from their defensive third, Pep tasked Fernandinho to always stay in front of whichever centre back had the ball. This dragged Firmino to one side, clearing space for the other centre back to exploit and allowing lots of time to make a decision following a pass. Both Silvas played a very important role here as they stayed in their half spaces, keeping Liverpool's midfielders nearby. The reason why that was an important role was because since both Silvas managed to keep Liverpool's midfield quite narrow, City were able to find and exploit a narrow channel leading to a winger. Before I go any further, I want to expand on this a little bit to give you a better idea as to why this was so easy to implement. First of all, as I've mentioned before, the far winger had to look out for the fullback and so press the nearby centre back from an angle after the switch. That didn't do much in reducing the space the centre back had in front of him. Secondly, City's wingers were staying right by the sideline, and Liverpool's fullbacks couldn't really stay too tight with the wingers. The reason behind that is because both of City's wingers are much faster than Liverpool's fullbacks in comparison, and Liverpool were keeping a relatively high line. So the fullbacks had to worry about runs in behind the defense, which kept them at a considerable distance away from the wingers, allowing Sane and Sterling to get involved in a build-up through penetrating ground passes. In the event where Liverpool blocked a narrow channel by having a winger stay narrow, City had yet another way to play through Liverpool. City waited until Liverpool's wingers pressed while focused on cutting the passing lane to the fullback behind him, and then had the ball near midfielder drop deep instantly, who then found an open player immediately, as he knew he didn't have enough space to take his time. This allowed City to have multiple options to play through the pressure, no matter what Liverpool tried to do. It gets even more impressive when you bring Aguero into the mix. Aguero's role allowed him to roam all over the field, trying to disrupt Liverpool's shape by finding pockets of spaces. Aguero made it possible for City to use the same narrow channel to get upfield, even if they weren't able to get it to the wingers directly. Aguero's role was very difficult to handle for Liverpool as he kept finding pockets of spaces while Liverpool's midfielders were occupied with other players. Liverpool having a centre-back stay with him in some cases did not make that much of a difference. Since Salah didn't track back all the way, Wijnaldum had to help Alexander-Arnold on the right side. And since David Silva staying in the half space occupied Henderson, Aguero was left with no marker when he dropped between the line, allowing him to get involved in the build-up quite easily. City kept combining their build-up tactics with Aguero's role, which allowed them to move the ball around seamlessly. Aguero's position forces Robertson to make a choice, to either leave Sterling open or Aguero open. The fullback chooses Sterling, leaving Aguero open for a pass. As a result of all this, City were on top right from the get-go, as they kept finding ways to play through Liverpool's pressure and get upfield. And to make matters worse for Liverpool, City were determined to gegenpress as soon as they lost the ball, even if it meant having their forwards sprint back to defend. That made it very difficult for Liverpool to counter, especially since they were getting pinned back on a regular basis, which meant they had to do even more to get away from City's pressure. On top of that, whenever Liverpool had possession, the way City pressed kept forcing them to go long every time they tried to play through City's pressure. Notice how Aguero presses Van Dijk while cutting passing lane to Henderson, and then David Silva does the same with Wijnaldum and Lovren. Meanwhile, Sane doesn't press until a pass is made to the fullback, then cuts the passing lane to Wijnaldum while going up. And with Aguero cutting the passing lane to the ball far centre back, Liverpool had no option but to go back to the keeper. As a result, Liverpool kept going long due to City's pressure, and lost the ball in dangerous areas, allowing City to attack right after. Liverpool were playing awful, or at least were forced to play awful for the first 15 minutes. But after that, even though it was rare, they started finding ways to get into the final third. The way they were able to get upfield was by shaking off the first wave of pressure, as that left lots of spaces to exploit while giving Liverpool time until City got back in shape. And around the 18th minute, after Salah is able to shake off Bernardo Silva, Liverpool are able to get into the final third after a quick 1-2 between the forwards, where Liverpool almost take the lead, first through Mane's shot, which ends up hitting the post, and then through Stone's clearance, which deflects off the goalkeeper and almost crosses the line. City were quite fortunate to not be a goal down from an own goal, as it was only a matter of 1.12 centimeters or less than half an inch that the ball didn't cross the line. As you saw, Liverpool did not really need too many opportunities to create a clear chance, while City had been playing some beautiful football but weren't even able to register a single shot at the goal until much later in the half. Around the half-hour mark, City again got fortunate as Kompany's wild tackle only resulted in a yellow card. Not only was he the last man between Salah and the keeper, but he lunged in with his studs showing, which could have easily injured Salah. This kind of tackle gets you sent off more often than not. That seemed to have invigorated City as they were now attacking with more intent and came close to scoring the first goal of the game on multiple occasions. About 5 minutes before the first half came to an end, Sane gets City into the final third after exploiting the narrow channel, then makes a run behind the unsuspecting fullback who got dragged up. Lovren is not able to keep up with Sané's pace, allowing the winger to deliver a cross, which is parried away by the keeper. Sterling then wins the rebound, keeping City in the final third. A few seconds after that, Bernardo Silva dribbles all the way to the left wing from half space, and then fires a low cross into the box. Lovren is unaware of Agüero's movement as the forward is able to get in front of the defender, who then fires a shot from a tight angle and ends up scoring the first goal of the game. It was a great goal by Agüero and poor defending by Lovren, but the shot was world class, no doubt. The first half came to an end shortly after, and neither manager seemed to have made any changes during the halftime break as City continued to dominate Liverpool early in the second half. Notice how Mane has to worry about Bernardo Silva dropping deep while also cutting passing lane to Danilo, which results in him leaving both players open to receive a pass. While Agüero's possession kept causing Liverpool trouble, Sterling is able to drop into space since Henderson was worrying about Agüero, allowing City to move the ball around easily. City's movement in the final third was exceptional. Take a look at this for example. David Silva makes a run in behind while Agüero returns. Now, either Henderson goes back to cover David Silva's run but leaves a channel open for a pass to Agüero in process, or covers the channel to Agüero, allowing David Silva to make his run with no marker, letting City get in behind on the wing. Klopp knew he was getting outplayed, so he decided to change things up by bringing on Fabinho for Milner in the 57th minute. This change meant that Liverpool switched to 4-4-1-1 with Mane going over to the right and Wijnaldum on the left, while Salah became the centre forward with Firmino given the free role. Klopp wanted to disrupt City's build-up play as City were having an easy time moving the ball around all over the field. So this change allowed him to switch up a few things in Liverpool's pressing. Firmino continued to stay by Fernandinho, while Salah was now tasked to press the centre backs. Meanwhile, Henderson and Fabinho stayed with City's midfielders, so Wijnaldum and Mane were freed up to press the fullbacks without worrying about other players. The ball-far midfielder would then come inside just enough to put pressure on City's ball-far centre-back in case they attempted to switch to the other side. All this made it so the only way City were able to get upfield was through long balls to the wingers. As a result of Klopp's tactical changes, Liverpool managed to tip the balance into their favour, and were now able to attack a lot more than before, threatening Ederson's goal on many occasions. Salah, Mane and Wijnaldum all stayed in the middle in order to keep City's shape narrow, and kept going inside to drag City's fullback with them, allowing Liverpool to switch the play to the wings as there was plenty of space to exploit out wide. Well, about 5 minutes after Klopp made the change in his tactics, Liverpool are able to get into the final third after Wijnaldum drags away the fullback, which ends in Robertson receiving the long pass unmarked, who then finds Firmino, resulting in Liverpool equalizing the score. Right after conceding, Pep brought on Gundogan for David Silva, who played much deeper than where David Silva was playing. Liverpool continued to look for more from counterattacks as they made it difficult for City to play through the pressure, while City themselves looked to catch Liverpool out on quick breaks as they attacked right after Liverpool's counterattack broke down. Since Mane committed to Liverpool's counterattack which broke down, he found himself caught upfield, leaving Sané open on the left wing. Sterling then makes his way over to the left, while Agüero runs inside to drag Alexander-Arnold with him. This creates space for Sané, who then fires a shot at the back post, giving City the lead about 6 minutes after Liverpool equalized the score. In my opinion, Lovren was Liverpool's worst player on the pitch. He played Sterling onside during the build-up to the second goal as he took way too long to step up, even when Van Dijk stepped up. It's not just because of this instance. He let Agüero step in front of him, which resulted in City's first goal, and made many questionable decisions throughout the match. Klopp brought on Shaqiri for Mane in the 77th minute, hoping Liverpool could find a way to equalize for the second time in this game. While City continued to attack right after Liverpool's attack broke down, which almost resulted in City's third goal. Liverpool were attacking quite a lot as they didn't show any signs of giving up and came close on multiple occasions. Liverpool were now committing Van Dijk to go up and stay, hoping his aerial threat could make something happen. Whereas City kept looking to extend their lead, and they almost did as the game was coming to an end. The match ended with Pep Guardiola finally getting the better of Klopp, closing the gap to just 4 points. If you want to create a website, I would recommend checking out Squarespace. I'm working on creating my own website through Squarespace, which I will highlight in my next video. I can assure you that you'll be amazed by the all-in-one platform they offer, which makes it very easy to convert your ideas into reality without having to learn any aspect of web designing. It makes the whole process very less time consuming, which is very important to me. The huge variety of beautiful templates will help you create a strong online identity. The award-winning 24/7 customer support will always be there to take care of all of your needs. Head over to squarespace.com/tacticalanalysis for a free trial to confirm everything I said for yourself. And if you're ready to launch, save 10% off your purchase. Pep's tactics definitely allowed City to outplay Liverpool in the first half, but Klopp put up a good fight in the second and should be feeling hard done by losing this match. I want to know what you think about Kompany's tackle in the first half. Was a yellow card the right decision, or do you think he should have been sent off? Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I said. Also, let me know any thoughts you have on this match. I'd love to hear what you think, so let me know down in the comments below. If you like what I do and want me to do this full time, check out my Patreon page through the link in description or the card on top right. I really appreciate the support. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and my new page on Facebook since the last one got deleted. All the links can be found in description. Thank you to Bergen, Andrew Paul, Khaled Elenazi, Yitzhar Goretsky, Gary Bartlett, Anthony, Hamilton Howard Nodine, Lucky Sengoku-san, and more for supporting this channel on Patreon.